You ever have that sick, gut-dropping moment when you realize you're about to ruin someone's world, but not saying anything would make you just as guilty? Yeah, that's where I found myself one Friday night in June, staring at my phone, debating if I should press send on a text that I knew would blow up my entire friendship. My name's Emily. I'm 25, and my best friend, well, she was my best friend, is Hannah. We met in freshman year of college, and we're basically inseparable ever since. She's the kind of person who lights up a room, loud laugh, messy curls, the type who makes friends with bartenders after one drink. And then there's me, more quiet, more careful, the planner friend. Together we balanced each other out. The problem? Her boyfriend. His name's Ryan. At first, I really tried to like him. He was charming in that overly polished, I watch myself in the mirror way. He dressed too well for casual hangouts, laughed too hard at his own jokes, and always seemed just a little too flirty with other girls. But Hannah was crazy about him. They met at her work. He was a client at the gym she trained at, and within weeks they were practically glued together. I didn't trust him, but I kept my mouth shut. Because who wants to be the jealous, bitter friend, right? Fast forward to that Friday night. I was out with a couple coworkers at a rooftop bar downtown. The kind of place where the lights are strung overhead. Music is just loud enough to feel fun, but not overwhelming, and you can smell grilled food drifting over from the kitchen. I was halfway through my mojito when I spotted him. Ryan. At first I thought maybe Hannah had come too. My stomach did this little flip. I was excited to see her, honestly. But no, he was there with another girl. And it wasn't a casual hangout. He had his hand on the small of her back, leaning in close, whispering into her ear. She laughed and kissed him right there in the middle of the bar like they were a couple who'd been together forever. I swear my jaw dropped. I froze, just watching them, hoping my eyes were playing tricks on me. But then he turned his head, and it was 100% him. The way he tilted his head when he laughed, that stupid silver chain he always wore, it was Ryan, no question. My first instinct was to take a picture. Not even subtle. I just snapped it, heart pounding so loud I thought everyone could hear it. My hands were shaking. Then I immediately texted Hannah. Hey, are you busy right now? She didn't reply right away. Of course she didn't. She was probably at home, maybe making dinner, maybe watching Netflix, thinking she had the perfect boyfriend. And here I was, sweating, sitting with proof that the guy she loved was kissing someone else. My coworkers noticed I was pale and asked if I was okay. I just muttered something about not feeling great and excused myself to the bathroom. I locked myself in a stall, staring at that picture on my phone, my mind racing. Do I tell her? Do I wait until later? Do I call her right now? I thought about all the times Hannah had gushed about Ryan. How she said he was the one. How she was already dropping hints about moving in with him. How she told me in confidence that she thought he might propose within the next year. And I just felt sick. So I typed it out. I wrote, Hannah, I'm so sorry, but I just saw Ryan at bar name. He was with another girl, and they kissed. I took a picture if you don't believe me. I didn't want to say this, but I couldn't just stay quiet. My thumb hovered over the send button. I was sweating. My heart was hammering so hard I thought I might pass out. And then I pressed it. The message went through. I sat there, staring at the screen, waiting for the typing bubbles. Waiting for something. But nothing came. 10 minutes. Nothing. 20 minutes. Nothing. Meanwhile, outside the bathroom, Ryan and his mystery girl were still having their little date. I couldn't bring myself to walk past them, so I just stayed hidden. Finally, after what felt like forever, Hannah texted back. What? Where are you? Send me the picture. I sent it. And as soon as I did, I felt like I had just lit the fuse on a bomb. The 3 dots appeared. She was typing. Then they disappeared. Then they came back. Then they disappeared again. And when her message finally came through, it wasn't what I expected at all. When Hannah's reply finally came through, my stomach dropped. That's not funny, Emily. I just stared at the screen, my thumb frozen above the keyboard. Not funny. Did she think I was making it up? My heart was still racing, and I could feel this heat rising in my chest, a mix of panic and frustration. I typed back instantly. I'm not joking. I'm literally here right now. He's with her. I can FaceTime you if you want, but I swear I'm not lying. The bubbles appeared again, disappeared, came back. Finally, she replied. Stop. You're overreacting. He said he was grabbing drinks with a friend from work. I'm sure it's nothing. Nothing. She called that nothing. I stared at the bathroom stall door, gripping my phone so hard my knuckles went white. I thought about barging out there, snapping 10 more pictures of Ryan with his arm around that girl, her lipstick still smeared on his cheek, and shoving them in Hannah's face. But I didn't. I just sat there, shaking. After a minute, I wrote. He kissed her. In the middle of the bar. Everyone saw it. This isn't just drinks. This time she didn't respond right away. I waited, staring at my phone, my whole body tense. I could hear the muffled music from outside, laughter from other women walking into the bathroom, the faint bass thumping through the walls. It all felt surreal, like I was living someone else's life for a second. Finally, Hannah replied. Send me another picture. A clear one. So I did something I honestly didn't want to do. I left the safety of the stall and walked back out. My co-workers were still sitting at the bar, laughing, oblivious. Ryan was at a table now with the girl, his hand resting on her thigh like it belonged there. I pulled out my phone, snapped a photo from behind a potted plant, and sent it. This time, her reply came quick. Where exactly are you? I'm coming. I froze. My first instinct was to stop her, to tell her it wasn't worth it, that she didn't need to humiliate herself by storming into this bar. But before I could even type, she wrote again. Don't say anything to him. Don't let him see you. I'll be there in 20. So I just waited. I sat in the corner, pretending to scroll on my phone, sipping melted ice water because I couldn't bring myself to order another drink. My coworkers asked if I was okay, and I just lied through my teeth, saying I had a headache and was probably going to leave soon. They shrugged it off. Those 20 minutes felt like an eternity. Every so often I'd glance at Ryan and his mystery girl, and every time my stomach twisted tighter. The way he looked at her, leaning in like he was trying to memorize her laugh, it wasn't some random hookup. This was intimate, familiar. And then Hannah walked in. I spotted her immediately. She was in sweats and an oversized hoodie, her hair pulled back, no makeup. She scanned the bar, her face pale and tight. When her eyes landed on me, I waved her over. Where is he? She asked, her voice low and sharp. I swallowed hard and pointed. She followed my gaze, and I swear I watched her whole world shatter in real time. Her mouth opened like she was about to say something, then closed again. Her hands curled into fists at her sides. She looked like she might throw up. For a second, I thought she'd just leave, that she'd walk out the door, cry in her car, and deal with it later. But nope. She marched straight toward their table. Wait, Hannah. I tried to whisper, grabbing her arm, but she yanked it away. The sound of her voice cut through the bar like a blade. Ryan, what the hell is this? The entire place seemed to go silent. I swear the music even felt quieter. Ryan's head snapped up, his face draining of color when he saw her. The girl next to him froze, her smile vanishing. Hannah, Ryan started, stammering. But she wasn't having it. Don't even start. Who is she? The girl blinked, looking between them, clearly realizing she was in the middle of something messy. I think I should go, she muttered, grabbing her purse. No, stay, Hannah snapped, her eyes blazing. I want to hear what he told you. Did he say he was single? Did he say I didn't exist? The girl looked horrified, muttered something under her breath, and practically bolted out the door. And just like that, it was the three of us. Ryan stood up, reaching for Hannah's hand. She pulled back like he'd burned her. Babe, please, it's not what it looks like. Not what it looks like. She spat. I just watched you kiss her. Are you actually insane? People were openly staring now, some whispering, some pretending not to. I wanted to disappear. I wanted the floor to swallow me whole. Ryan glanced around like he was embarrassed, then lowered his voice. Hannah, please, let's not do this here. Can we go outside and talk? But Hannah just laughed, this broken, bitter laugh I'd never heard from her before. Talk. You want to talk after I catch you with another woman? And then she turned. Not to him. To me. Her eyes were wet, furious. And you, she hissed. Did you know about this? How long have you been waiting to drop this on me? My stomach dropped. Hannah, what? I literally just saw him tonight. That's why I called you. But she didn't let me finish. Unbelievable, she said, her voice shaking. Both of you. And then she stormed out of the bar, leaving me and Ryan standing there in stunned silence. Ryan turned to me, his jaw tight, eyes blazing with a kind of anger I hadn't expected. He leaned in close and muttered, "You have no idea what you just did." When Ryan leaned in, his voice low and venomous, my whole body went cold. You have no idea what you just did, he said again, like he wanted to carve the words into me. His jaw worked like he was chewing his anger. The bar buzzed back to life around us, people trying to look normal while obviously listening. I swallowed. I didn't do anything. You did. He gave this humorless laugh. You think you helped her? You set a grenade off and walked away. Congratulations. I didn't walk away. I called her because she deserved to know. I hated that my voice trembled. I hated that he made me feel like I was the one who needed to defend myself. Ryan took a step closer, close enough that I could smell his cologne. Clean, sharp, expensive. You've never liked me, Emily. You've been waiting for a chance to make me look bad. And you picked the messiest way to do it. His eyes flicked toward the exit. She's probably crying in her car because of you. Because of me. The way he said it was so precise it almost convinced me. Almost. She's crying because of what you did, I said, softer now. If you cared about her, you would have told her the truth instead of letting her find out here. He stared at me so long I thought he'd say something else. Instead, he grabbed his jacket and shoved his arms through with jerky, angry movements. Stay out of it, he said, voice flat. If you keep stirring this up, it won't go the way you think. For anyone. He walked out without looking back. I stood there, fingers numb around my phone, 1,000 tiny eyes prickling my skin. My coworkers hovered a few tables away, unsure whether to comfort me or pretend they hadn't seen anything. I muttered a goodbye, paid my tab with hands that didn't feel connected to my body, and hurried outside. The street was damp from a quick summer drizzle. Neon from the bar's sign blurred on the sidewalk. I scanned the curb for Hannah's car, but it was gone. I texted her, "Are you okay? Can I come over?" The message showed delivered, but no typing bubbles. I called. It rang, and then went to voicemail. Hearing her recorded greeting, bright, easy, the sound of who she is when she's happy, made my chest ache. On the walk to the rideshare pickup, I replayed everything. The kiss, the way Ryan's hand rested on that girl's thigh like it belonged there, Hannah's face when she saw them, the bite in her voice when she turned on me. I wanted to crawl out of my own skin. When I got home, my apartment felt too quiet. The clock on the stove said 11:38. I sat on the edge of my couch and typed out a long text to Hannah. I'm so sorry about tonight. I didn't want you to be blindsided. I only told you because I care about you. I know it was humiliating, and I am sorry you had to see it that way. I'm here if you want to talk, or if you want me to drop some soup on your doorstep, or just sit with you and say nothing. I love you. I'm not going anywhere. I watched the screen. Nothing. At 12:12, she posted an Instagram story, just white text on a black background. Some people love drama more than they love their friends. No tags, no names. I stared at it until the words blurred. My phone buzzed with a notification from our group chat. Maya, we have two Mayas. This one's Maya S. from college, wrote. Anyone know what happened with Hannah? Her story seems intense. I hovered over the typing box, then closed the chat. It felt wrong to share before Hannah spoke to me. I didn't sleep much. I kept getting up, pacing, sitting back down. At 2:03 a.m., Ryan called. I let it go to voicemail. He called again, then a third time. Finally, a text. We need to talk. You don't understand what you saw. I muted him. Around 8 the next morning, I made coffee I didn't drink and took a shower I didn't remember. Sunlight pushed through the blinds like nothing bad had happened. At 9:17, a voice memo came in from Ryan. Against my better judgment, I hit play. Emily. His voice sounded tired, softer. Look, last night was complicated. The woman you saw is a friend. Yes, we're close. Hannah and we've been struggling. I was going to end things. I told Hannah I needed space. She didn't hear me. She never hears me. What happened at the bar wasn't what you think. You made a private situation explode. If you care about her, stop feeding the fire. Tell her you misunderstood. Just let us handle it. I replayed the line, she never hears me, and thought about the times Hannah had vented to me about Ryan going silent for days and then showing up with flowers, acting like nothing happened. It felt like I was finally seeing the shape of a pattern that had been there all along. I typed a message to Hannah, deleted it, typed another, deleted that too. Finally, I sent something simple. I'm here. No pressure. I'll bring breakfast if you want. Love you. At 10:02, she replied. Just 3 words. I need space. There it was. Concrete, heavy, final. I stared at those 3 words for a full minute, The way someone stares at a closed door, hoping it will open if you just look long enough. Okay, I wrote. I'll give you space. Please remember I'm in your corner. Always. I put my phone face down and tried to do normal things. Laundry, watering my sad herbs on the windowsill, wiping down the counter that didn't need wiping. But my mind kept circling the same drain. If I had told her privately, would it have been different? If I had waited until the morning, would it have hurt less? If I had done nothing, would she be happier for a little while longer? Around noon, I couldn't sit still anymore. I walked to the cafe down the block. The place smelled like espresso and toasted bagels. The barista with the friendly eyes wrote, "M," on my cup, even though we both knew my name. I grabbed a table by the window and tried to answer emails. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. "Do you mind if I sit here?" a voice asked. I looked up and my stomach dropped. It was the woman from the bar. Up close, she looked younger than I'd thought. Maybe my age, but her eyes were tired. She wore a denim jacket and had a leather tote slung over her shoulder, and when she realized I recognized her, she flushed. "I'm sorry," she said quickly, hands up like she expected me to snap. "I'm not trying to cause a scene. I recognized you, and I freaked out for a second. I didn't know he had a girlfriend." My chair scraped as I shifted. "You didn't." She shook her head, a short, painful motion. "He told me he was single, that he'd been single for months. He said there was a clingy ex who wouldn't let go. I feel dumb." The anger I had been directing at the world softened, just a bit. "What's your name?" "Lena," she said, eyes searching mine for judgment. "I'm not proud of last night. I left as soon as I realized. I swear." "I saw you leave," I said. Would you be willing to show me your text with him? I know that's a huge ask. My friend is devastated, and he's trying to make it sound like I twisted everything." Lena hesitated, then exhaled. "If it helps another woman, yes." She lowered her phone onto the table and scrolled. The thread was long. There were flirty messages, photos of cocktails, jokes about a show they both watched. And then there were messages from him late at night. "Wish you were here. Can't stop thinking about you. A week ago, hate drama. Glad I'm done with my past. Ready for something real." "Done with my past," I repeated. He meant Hannah. Lena winced. "I'm sorry. Don't apologize. He lied to both of you." I swallowed. "Would you be comfortable forwarding a few of those screenshots to me? I won't post anything. I just want to send them to my friend privately so she knows she isn't imagining this." She thought for a second, then nodded. "I'll send a few. Covering his number is fine." "I'll blur it," I said. "Thank you." She texted them over. When my phone buzzed, I felt both relief and dread. Proof had a weight to it. It sat in your pocket like a stone. "I'm really sorry," Lena said again, standing. "If she wants to talk, she can message me. I don't want to be anonymous in a story someone else tells about their pain." That means a lot," I said truthfully. After she left, I saved the images to a new album, hands steady for the first time in hours. I typed a message to Hannah, attached 3 screenshots that showed the clearest timeline, and wrote, "You don't have to respond. I just want you to have this in case you need it. I am not trying to hurt you. I wish we were eating pancakes and laughing right now. I love you." I didn't hit send. I stared at the screen, at my reflection in the black border, at my own eyes that looked as tired as I felt. If I sent them, I would be choosing a side in her mind. If I didn't, she might go back to him because it was easier to believe I was jealous than to believe he was a liar. I pressed send. A minute later, the message flipped to read. Then nothing. 10 minutes. Still nothing. I shoved my phone into my tote like that would stop me from thinking about it. Back home, I lay on the couch and watched the ceiling fan spin. Messages trickled in from friends who had heard a hint of something through the grapevine, people asking vague questions I refused to answer. Around 4, I dozed off. I woke to my phone buzzing against my hip. "Hannah." For a second, hope cracked through my chest. I opened her message. "Ryan says you've had it out for him since the beginning. He says you tried to kiss him at my birthday last year when he walked you to your car. He says you've always wanted us to break up." I sat up so fast the room tilted. My fingers moved without me. "That is not true. I would never do that to you. He walked me to my car because you were saying goodbye to your parents. He gave me a hug. That's it." I said goodnight and left. There was nothing else. The bubbles appeared, disappeared, appeared again. "He says you told him you didn't think we'd last." I felt heat crawl up my neck. "I told him you deserve consistency. I told him disappearing for days wasn't okay. I told him you'd leave if he didn't step up. That's not the same as saying you wouldn't last. I was trying to defend you. No response. I typed again, slower this time. Hannah, please. He's lying to protect himself. He lied to Lena too. Told her you were an ex who wouldn't let go. I met her today by accident. She sent me their texts. I only sent you 3 because I didn't want to overwhelm you. This time, she didn't type back. Instead, my phone flashed with an incoming call. Hannah. I answered so quickly I almost dropped it. She didn't say hello. Her voice was small, careful. Did you tell him something about me? Something personal? My mind scrambled. No. What would I even? He said you told him I'm insecure and controlling. That I track his location and blow up his phone if he's 5 minutes late. Absolutely not, I said, heat hitting my face. I told him the opposite. I told him you bend over backward to trust people who don't earn it. Silence hummed across the line. I could hear her breathing. I don't know what to believe, she whispered. I feel like I'm underwater. I know, I said, trying to keep my own voice steady. Please don't make any decisions today. Eat something. Sleep. I'll drop groceries outside your door. You don't even have to open it. Just, please don't let him turn this into me versus him. It's you versus what's true. She inhaled sharply, like my words hurt. I need time. I'll give you time. We stayed on the line a few more seconds, neither of us speaking, both listening to the weight of what wasn't said. Then she hung up. I sat very still. Outside, the late afternoon light turned golden. Somewhere down the block, a child laughed. My apartment felt like a stage set after the actors left. A new message buzzed almost immediately. Ryan, you're making this worse. Last chance. Tell her you misunderstood, or I will tell her everything you've said about her. Every insecurity. Every secret. I stared at the screen, pulse thudding in my ears. What secrets did he think he had? Before I could answer, Hannah's name lit up my screen again. This time with a single text that made my hands go cold. Ryan told me you showed him the messages I sent you about my dad. Is that true? My throat went dry. Hannah's message stared back at me like it was glowing, like it was shouting accusations through the tiny screen. Ryan told me you showed him the messages I sent you about my dad. Is that true? My chest tightened so hard I had to set the phone down. I hadn't told him anything. Not about her dad. Not about anything she confided in me. But the fact she even asked, that she thought it was possible, knocked the wind right out of me. I forced my shaking hands to type. No, absolutely not. I would never share anything you told me in confidence. Ever. That's sacred. He's lying. I watched the typing bubbles appear, then disappear, then appear again. My pulse was so loud I couldn't even hear the hum of the fridge anymore. Finally, her reply came. Then how does he know? He repeated something I only ever said to you. My mind scrambled, backtracking through every conversation, every late-night venting session, every glass of wine where she let herself be vulnerable. Her dad had left when she was a teenager, and she'd told me how that shaped her fears of abandonment, how it made her cling harder when she felt someone pulling away. She never told Ryan. She said she didn't want him to use it against her. And now he had. I typed again. Hannah, I swear to you, I never said a word to him. I don't know how he found out, but it wasn't from me. Please, you know me. You know I would rather cut off my own arm than betray you like that. I hit send and sat back, pressing the heels of my hands into my eyes until stars danced in the dark. Minutes crawled by. She didn't reply. Instead, another text came in from Ryan. She's asking questions. Good. Maybe now she sees who you really are. My stomach flipped. It wasn't just that he was lying. He was calculating. He was watching every move, twisting every word, making sure Hannah's trust in me eroded drop by drop. I wanted to call her, to hear her voice, to plead. But I knew pushing would only make me look desperate. Instead, I opened our old photo album on my phone. Pictures of us in college dorm rooms, grinning with bad pizza, Halloween costumes we thought were genius at the time, messy hair after pulling all-nighters. All that history between us, and now it was hanging by a thread that Ryan was cutting strand by strand. I didn't sleep that night. Every noise outside made me sit up. Every buzz of my phone had me bracing for impact. By morning, my eyes burned like I'd rubbed sand in them. At 8:34 a.m., Hannah finally texted. I need to be alone with him today. Don't text me. Don't call me. I just sat there, the words sinking into my chest like stones. Alone with him. After everything. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run over there, drag her out, show her the screenshots, sit her down until she believed me. But I didn't, because she asked me not to. So I spent the day pacing my apartment like a caged animal. I cleaned out my fridge. I folded laundry I didn't need to fold. I started baking muffins, even though I didn't want muffins. Anything to keep my hands busy while my brain clawed itself apart. Around 4 p.m., I got a text from Maya S. Is Hannah okay? Ryan just posted some cryptic thing on his story about fake friends exposing their own insecurities. Should I ask her? I felt heat rise in my chest. He was taking it public now. I told Maya, please don't ask her right now. She's overwhelmed. Just give her space. But the damage was spreading. Our friend's circle started buzzing. Vague questions, side eyes, people asking me privately if I'd said something about Hannah behind her back. The more I denied it, the more it sounded like there was something to deny. Ryan knew exactly what he was doing. By 6 o'clock, I was pacing again when my phone lit up. Hannah. I snatched it up like it was oxygen. She sent a long message this time. Ryan says you're obsessed with me. That you've always been jealous of us. That you can't stand not being the most important person in my life. He says you've been trying to break us up from the start, and honestly, when I think about how you've never liked him, maybe he's right. Maybe you don't want me happy unless it's on your terms. I stared at it until my vision blurred. Obsessed. Jealous. Trying to break them up. I wanted to throw my phone at the wall. Instead, I typed back. Hannah, I love you like a sister. That's it. I never wanted to compete with him. I wanted you safe and happy. And from the very beginning, I saw red flags. I kept my mouth shut because you loved him. I only spoke up when I had no choice. A pause. Then she typed. You don't get it. He admitted he kissed her, but he said it was a mistake, that he was drunk, that it meant nothing. He says he loves me. People make mistakes. Maybe I should forgive him. I almost dropped the phone. After everything, after proof, after seeing it with her own eyes, she was thinking about forgiving him. I typed so fast my thumbs cramped. Hannah, this wasn't a mistake. He's been lying to you for weeks. Lena showed me their texts. He told her you were just some clingy ex. That's not a mistake. That's manipulation. Please, please don't let him turn this into you choosing him over me. He's isolating you. That's what this is. No reply. Hours dragged by. I couldn't eat. I couldn't even drink water. Every time my phone buzzed, my heart launched into my throat. But none of them were her. Finally, around midnight, my phone lit up with a voicemail. Hannah. My hands shook as I hit play. Her voice was thick, like she'd been crying. Emily, I don't know what to do. I want to believe you. I do. But he's here, and he's saying things that make me doubt everything. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I just need to know, why does it feel like everyone is against him? But he's the only one who says he loves me no matter what? Call me back. I pressed the phone to my ear long after the message ended, listening to the silence. Because that was it, wasn't it? That was the trap. He told her what she wanted most, to be loved no matter what. And in the echo of her dad leaving, in that raw wound that never fully healed, she clung to it like it was oxygen. I wanted to protect her. I wanted to shake her awake. But instead, I sat in the dark, whispering to nobody. Because it's not love. It's control. Just as I set my phone down, it buzzed again. Another message from Hannah. Short this time. If you're really my friend, you'll drop this. You'll stop interfering. Please. My vision swam as I read it over and over. Stop interfering. As if helping her was betrayal. As if silence was friendship. And then my phone buzzed again. This time from an unknown number, with a single message that made my skin crawl. Back off. You don't know what he's capable of. The unknown number glowed on my screen, and the message beneath it sat like a shadow in my chest. Back off. You don't know what he's capable of. I read it 3 times before it fully sank in. My apartment, normally so safe and ordinary, suddenly felt too open, too quiet. Every creak of the pipes, every hum of the fridge made me jump. I checked the locks on my door twice, then pulled the blinds shut even though it was after midnight and nobody could see inside. I typed back, "Who is this?" My thumb hovered before I hit send. No response. I sent another. "If this is Ryan, leave me alone." Still nothing. The dots never appeared. I stared at the screen until the numbers blurred, then finally turned my phone face down on the table. My hands wouldn't stop trembling, and I hated it. Hated that his words could crawl under my skin like that. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Hannah's face at the bar, her expression when she turned on me, or worse, Ryan smirked when he leaned close and said I had no idea what I'd done. By morning, I felt wrung out, like my body had been hollowed. I forced myself into jeans and a hoodie, grabbed coffee I didn't taste, and went into work. But I couldn't focus. My inbox might as well have been in another language. Every few minutes, I checked my phone, hoping for a text from Hannah. At lunch, I finally got one. Ryan explained everything. He said, "You've been twisting things behind my back. I think it's best if we take some distance right now. Please don't contact me for a while." I sat in the break room staring at that message, my sandwich untouched. The words blurred until they didn't look like words anymore. Distance. Don't contact me. After years of friendship, after birthdays and breakups and hospital visits and moving days, I was being cut off because of him. I wanted to scream. Instead, I shoved my phone in my bag and blinked hard, trying not to cry in front of coworkers. That night, I went straight home. I didn't answer texts in the group chat, didn't return missed calls from Maya S. or her roommate. I curled up on the couch with a blanket and stared at the wall, numb. Around 9:30, my phone buzzed. An email this time, from an address I didn't recognize. The subject line, "Last warning." Inside, "If you care about your friend, stay out of it. Stop sending her screenshots. Stop meeting people behind our backs. You're not helping. You're putting yourself in danger. This is your last chance." There was no signature. I slammed my laptop shut, my pulse racing. My first thought was that it was Ryan. Who else would write that? But part of me wondered if it was someone else, one of his friends? Maybe even Hannah, desperate and trying to scare me off? Either way, it worked. I sat there frozen, staring at the dark screen, my own reflection looking pale and small. For 2 days, I didn't hear from Hannah at all. 2 days of silence, of refreshing her socials, of scrolling through old pictures, of wondering if she was okay. 2 days of jumping at every noise in my hallway. On the third day, I saw her story pop up on Instagram. My stomach dropped. It was a photo of her hand, fingers laced with Ryan's. The caption read, "Working through it. Real love takes patience." I nearly threw my phone across the room. After everything, after seeing him with another woman, after screenshots, after the lies she knew were lies, she was back with him. And worse, she was broadcasting it, like a middle finger to anyone who doubted him. The comments started rolling in. Heart emojis. "You guys are so cute. This makes me believe in love again." And me? I sat there shaking, fighting the urge to write something, anything, to scream at the screen. This isn't love, it's manipulation. He's isolating her. He's dangerous. But I didn't. Because no matter what I wrote, she'd see it as proof I was the villain he painted me to be. That night, I got another text. From Hannah, this time. "Please stop talking to Lena. Ryan told me you met with her. That's crossing a line. Whatever you're trying to prove, it's over. We're fine. If you're my friend, you'll respect that." My jaw clenched so hard it hurt. He had poisoned everything. Even my attempt to protect her with the truth was twisted into betrayal. I typed back, slowly. "I only talked to her because I wanted to be sure. I didn't want to bring you rumors. I wanted facts. Hannah, she didn't even know about you. He told her you were his ex. That's not nothing. That's not love. Please, just hold that thought in the back of your mind, even if you don't believe me now." She didn't reply. The silence stretched into days again. Days where I couldn't eat, where I jumped at my own shadow, where every ding of my phone sent my heart into my throat. Until one night, nearly a week later, I was woken up by pounding on my door. Not a knock. Pounding. I froze in bed, my sheets tangled around me, my heart thundering. It was 2:14 a.m. I grabbed my phone, but there were no texts, no missed calls. Just that sound. 3 heavy thuds. I crept to the door, barefoot, holding my breath. When I looked through the peephole, my blood ran cold. Ryan. He was standing there in the hallway, hands shoved in his jacket pockets, jaw clenched, eyes burning like he knew I was watching. "Emily," he called softly, his voice muffled through the door. "We need to talk." I pressed my back against the door, barely breathing, as he spoke again. This time lower, sharper. "Open up. You and I both know this won't end until you do." My whole body pressed against the door like I could somehow melt into it, disappear into the wood. Ryan's voice seeped through, low and steady, like he had all the time in the world. "Emily," he said again, "I'm not leaving until we talk." My breath came fast and shallow. Every nerve in my body screamed at me to stay silent. But the pounding of my heart was so loud I was terrified he could hear it. I reached for my phone, fumbling, and typed 911. My thumb hovered over the call button. But then I froze. What would I even say? My best friend's boyfriend is at my door, and he scares me. Would that be enough for them to come? Or would they brush me off as dramatic? Another 3 knocks rattled the door. Come on, Ryan muttered. You think you can just ruin people's lives and hide? You're not the saint you pretend to be. I swallowed hard, forcing my voice to work. Go home, Ryan. It's the middle of the night. A beat of silence. Then, so you are in there. His tone sharpened, satisfied. Good. That saves me from waiting all night. My skin prickled. If you don't leave, I'll call the cops. He chuckled, like I just told a joke. Do it. Tell them your best friend's boyfriend came over to talk. See how seriously they take that. Meanwhile, Hannah's at my place, crying her eyes out because of you. My stomach twisted. Was she really there? Was she crying because he'd convinced her I was the villain again? I tightened my grip on the phone. You need to leave. Now. His voice dropped lower, colder. You think you're helping her, but you're not. You're feeding into everything she hates about herself. She told me about her dad, about her fears. You weaponized that. You think I don't know? My blood turned to ice. She told you herself? He laughed softly. She tells me everything. You're not her savior. You're just jealous because you'll never be what I am to her. I pressed my forehead against the door, willing myself not to cry. He was twisting it all again. Every confidence, every moment of trust between me and Hannah, he was turning into a knife. Then he leaned closer. I could hear his breath against the wood. Back off, Emily. Or the next time, I won't be so polite. My thumb finally slammed the call button. The automated voice filled my ear. 911. What's your emergency? I whispered, barely audible. My best friend's boyfriend is at my apartment. He's threatening me. I'm scared. The operator's voice was calm, steady. What's your address? Are you in a safe place inside the apartment? I rattled off my address in a shaking whisper. I'm inside, the door's locked. He's right outside. Stay on the line. Officers are on their way. Do not open the door. As if on cue, Ryan pounded once more, then his voice turned mocking. Really, Emily? Cops. That's what you're doing now? I didn't answer. I pressed my back harder against the door, as if that thin piece of wood was the only thing holding my world together. After a moment, his footsteps retreated down the hall. I held my breath, listening. Silence. Then, faintly, the echo of the stairwell door shutting. I stayed frozen, phone still pressed to my ear, until I heard the knock again. This time sharper, official. Police, a voice called. My knees almost buckled with relief. I opened the door to 2 uniformed officers, explaining in a rush what happened. They took notes, nodded, asked if I wanted to file a report. Yes, I said without hesitation, though my hands shook as I signed the form. They told me they'd file it as a harassment complaint, that it would be on record if anything else happened. When they left, the apartment felt emptier than ever. I sank onto the couch, wrapping a blanket around myself though I wasn't cold. I replayed his words again and again. She told me everything. You'll never be what I am to her. Back off, or next time won't be so polite. I barely slept. The next morning, Hannah called. Her voice was sharp, accusatory. Why did you call the cops on Ryan? My mouth went dry. Because he showed up at my apartment at 2 in the morning, pounding on my door and threatening me. Her breath caught. For a second, I thought maybe she believed me. Then her tone hardened again. He said he went over to check on you. He said you sounded unstable on the phone earlier, and he was worried. I laughed bitterly. Unstable? He threatened me. Hannah, do you not hear yourself? You always twist things, she snapped. You want everyone to think he's the bad guy when maybe you're just overreacting. Maybe you like being the victim. Her words sliced deeper than Ryan's ever could. I sat there, gripping the phone, my heart breaking in real time. Hannah, I've stood by you through everything. Every mistake, every heartbreak. And now you're throwing me under the bus for him? The guy who's lying to your face? She was silent for a long time. When she finally spoke, her voice was cold. I can't do this anymore. You're toxic, Emily. Stay out of my life. And then she hung up. I sat in the quiet apartment, the line dead in my hand, feeling like the floor had fallen out from under me. Minutes later, my phone buzzed with another message from that same unknown number. Good girl. You're learning. Keep your mouth shut, and we won't have another problem. My hand shook as I stared at the message. And then, before I could even process it, there was a loud thud against my front door. Not a knock this time. A deliberate kick. The thud against the door rattled the frame. My blanket slid off my shoulders as I jumped to my feet, heart slamming into my throat. Another thud. Harder this time. Like someone testing how much force it would take to split the wood. I grabbed my phone, dialing 911 again with shaking hands. "He's back," I whispered to the operator. "The guy I called about last night. He's back, and he's trying to break in." The operator's voice was calm, steady. "Stay where you are. Officers are on their way. Do not engage." But before I could even move further into the apartment, the pounding stopped. Silence fell so suddenly it was worse than the noise. My ears strained for every creak, every shuffle outside the door. Then, nothing. 5 long minutes later, the police arrived. They searched the hallway, checked the stairwell, but of course he was gone. Just like before. They asked again if I wanted to pursue charges, and this time, I didn't hesitate. "Yes," I said. My voice cracked, but I meant it. "I want this on record." They nodded, gave me a card, told me to stay with someone if I could. But the problem was, who could I stay with? Hannah had cut me off. Our other friends were close to her too, and I didn't want to drag them into the middle. So I stayed alone, every light in my apartment blazing like a lighthouse. That night, I couldn't take it anymore. I dug through my phone, pulling up every screenshot, every text from Ryan, every threatening email. I opened a folder on my laptop and labeled it proof. If he wanted to keep twisting the story, then fine. I'd have evidence of who he really was. And yet, even as I gathered it, my chest hurt thinking about Hannah. Would she ever see it? Or would Ryan make sure she hated me so much she'd never look at what I had to show her? The next day at work, my manager pulled me aside. "Are you okay?" she asked gently. "You look really worn down." I almost lied. Almost said I was just tired. But instead, the truth spilled out in a shaky rush. "My best friend's boyfriend has been harassing me. He came to my apartment, threatened me. I don't feel safe." Her face softened, serious now. "Then you shouldn't be alone. Do you have family nearby?" My parents lived 4 hours away. We weren't close, but I considered it. "Maybe," I murmured. "Take a few days off if you need," she said. "This is serious." Her kindness almost broke me. I nodded, biting the inside of my cheek to keep it together. That evening, I finally worked up the nerve to text Hannah again, even though she told me not to. "I need you to know something. Ryan came to my apartment. Twice. He threatened me. I filed reports with the police. Please, Hannah, I know you don't trust me right now, but if you love me even a little, be careful. Don't let him isolate you. I'm scared for you." I pressed send, my heart in my throat. Minutes passed. Nothing. Then finally, stop lying. "He was with me both nights. He never came to your apartment. You're making this up to get attention." I nearly dropped my phone. "With me both nights." My blood ran cold. He had an alibi. Of course he did. I typed furiously. Check the police reports. Case numbers, hashtag, 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 and hashtag, 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 hashtag. I'm not making it up. He's covering his tracks. No reply. Instead, an hour later, Ryan himself texted me. "Clever. Filing reports to make me look bad? You'll regret that." I stared at it, rage boiling over my fear. I typed back before I could stop myself. "You can't scare me anymore. Everything you've done is documented. Keep texting me. It's more evidence." The typing bubbles appeared, then disappeared. No reply came. For a few days, things went quiet. Quiet enough that I almost let myself believe it was over. I kept my head down, went to work, double-checked my locks, and tried to breathe normally again. But then, Saturday morning, Maya S. showed up at my door, her face pale. She held up her phone. "Emily, what the heck is this?" On her screen was a group chat I hadn't been part of. A screenshot was being passed around, allegedly of texts from me to Ryan. Texts saying I was in love with him. Texts saying Hannah didn't deserve him. Fake. Completely fake. But they looked real. "That's not me," I said immediately, my voice shaking. "I never sent those." Maya frowned. "I didn't think you did. But Hannah, she believes it. She said you've been obsessed with him for months. She told everyone you try to break them up." I pressed a hand to my forehead, dizzy. "He's faking them. He's making it look like I said things I didn't." Maya bit her lip. "Then you need to fight back. Show people the truth. Otherwise, everyone's going to think." She trailed off, not finishing. That night, I sat down at my laptop and pulled up the proof folder. I wrote a long message, attaching screenshots of Ryan's threats, Lena's texts, and the police reports. I debated sending it to the group chat, debated posting it on my socials. But my hands froze over the keyboard. Because if I went public, Hannah would see it as a betrayal. She'd block me forever. And part of me, pathetic as it felt, still hoped she'd wake up and come back to me. Instead, I saved it all to a flash drive and shoved it into my drawer. Insurance, I told myself, for when she finally sees the truth. But the truth had a way of finding its own cracks. 2 nights later, my phone buzzed at 1 a.m. A text from Hannah. I don't know who to believe anymore. He swears he loves me, but sometimes I see something in his eyes that scares me. If I leave, I have nowhere to go. And if I stay, I'm afraid of what he'll do. What do I do, Emily? My heart broke. She was finally cracking, finally asking me. I typed back with shaking hands. Come here. Right now? I'll keep you safe. Please, Hannah, just come. I waited, praying she'd show up. But instead, 10 minutes later, she replied with something that made my blood run cold. I can't. He took my keys. And he's watching me. I stared at the screen, panic surging through me. Hannah was trapped. And before I could even type a response, another text came in, this time from Ryan's number. Told you to back off. Now it's her problem too. I sat frozen on my couch, Ryan's text glowing on my screen. Told you to back off. Now it's her problem too. My stomach dropped so hard I thought I might throw up. Hannah's last message replayed in my mind. He took my keys. And he's watching me. I dialed her number immediately, straight to voicemail. I tried again. Same. My hands shook so badly I could barely grip the phone. Then I did the only thing I could think of. I called 911. My best friend is in danger, I blurted as soon as the operator answered. Her boyfriend took her keys. She said he's watching her. He's been threatening me too. Please, someone needs to check on her. The operator asked for her address, for details. I gave everything I had, even the case numbers from my reports. My voice cracked halfway through, but I didn't care. Officers are being dispatched, the operator said firmly. Stay on the line with me until they arrive. So I sat there, pacing my living room, clutching the phone while the operator's calm voice tried to anchor me. Every second felt like an hour. Finally, she said, officers are on scene now. They'll follow up with you shortly. I hung up and collapsed onto my couch, shaking. My chest ached like I'd been running. I wanted to call Hannah again, to hear her voice, to know she was okay, but I forced myself to wait. Half an hour later, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. For a second, I thought it was Ryan again, and my stomach clenched. But when I answered, it was a police officer. Ma'am, we checked the residence. Your friend answered the door. She stated she was fine and didn't need assistance. What? My voice came out shrill. She literally texted me saying he took her keys. She told me she was scared. I understand, ma'am, the officer said, his tone patient but detached. She said everything was a misunderstanding. We can't force her to leave if she doesn't want to. She asked us to tell you not to interfere. I sank back into the couch, tears burning my eyes. Not to interfere. Again. When I hung up, I threw my phone onto the cushion and buried my face in my hands. It felt like screaming into a void. No matter what I did, Ryan was always one step ahead, always twisting the story until Hannah believed I was the problem. An hour later, my phone buzzed again. This time it was Hannah herself. Why did you call the cops on me? My fingers flew. Because you told me he took your keys. Because you said he was watching you. I panicked. I didn't want you to get hurt. A pause. Then, you made it worse. He's furious now. He says you won't leave us alone. He says you're dangerous. Dangerous. The word punched me in the gut. I typed furiously. No, Hannah. He's dangerous. Please see that. He's trying to cut you off from me, from everyone. That's what abusers do. I know you can't see it right now, but one day you will. And when you do, I'll still be here. No matter what he tells you. She didn't reply. Instead, a new message popped up from Ryan's number. Police won't save you. If you keep meddling, I'll make sure everyone thinks you're insane. You'll lose more than just her. I dropped the phone like it burned me. The next morning, I dragged myself to work, running on no sleep. I felt paranoid, flinching at every shadow, every stranger's face that looked vaguely like his. At lunch, Maya cornered me again. Emily, people are talking, she said softly. Hannah's telling everyone you're obsessed. that you've been making things up because you can't stand not being her number one. I blinked at her hollow. Do you believe that? She hesitated, then shook her head. No, but people want to. Because it's easier than believing she's stuck with someone like him. Her honesty made my chest ache. What do I do? I whispered. Maya squeezed my arm. Document everything. Don't try to win her over right now. Just protect yourself. She'll see it one day. That night, I opened my laptop and typed up everything that had happened from the first night at the bar until now. Every text, every voicemail, every threat. I saved it all, emailed it to myself, even printed a copy and shoved it in a drawer. It felt paranoid, but paranoia was safer than denial. 2 days later, Hannah reached out again. Her voice on the phone was small, tired. Emily, I think I messed up. I sat up straight, gripping the phone. What happened? He got angry. Really angry. Over something stupid, me not answering fast enough. He threw my phone across the room. It shattered. I don't know who he is anymore. My heart pounded. Hannah, listen to me. That's not love. That's control. Please, please come stay with me. You don't need your keys. I'll meet you outside. I'll drive over right now if I have to. She was silent for a long time, then whispered, if I leave, he'll find me. You'll be safe here. I promised, though my voice shook. We'll call the police together. You won't be alone. Please, Hannah, just give me the chance to help you. Her breath hitched. I'll think about it. The line went dead. That night, I barely moved from the couch, phone in hand, praying she'd call again. I jumped at every sound in the hallway, imagining Ryan lurking just outside my door. At 3:17 a.m., my phone buzzed. A single text from Hannah. I'm outside. I flew to the door, yanking it open. And there she was, standing in the hallway, hoodie pulled tight around her, eyes red from crying, clutching a duffel bag. Hannah, I breathed, pulling her inside. She collapsed against me, sobbing. I wrapped my arms around her, relief and fear crashing over me at the same time. But before I could even shut the door, her phone, what was left of it, buzzed from her pocket. The cracked screen lit up with his name. Ryan. Calling. Hannah looked at me with wide, terrified eyes, her phone vibrating between us. If I don't answer, she whispered, he'll come here. And then the call went to voicemail, followed by a message notification. I know where you are. Hannah's cracked phone buzzed in her hand, the message glowing like a curse. I know where you are. Her face crumpled. Emily, he'll come. He always finds me. I grabbed the phone and set it face down on the counter. Not this time. You're safe here. We'll call the police again. You're not alone. She shook her head violently, tears streaming down her cheeks. They won't believe me. They never do. He's so good at twisting things. What if he says I came here to stalk you? What if he... Hannah. I caught her shoulders, steadying her. Listen to me. I've been documenting everything. The threats, the fake texts, the police reports. I have it all saved. He can't spin his way out of proof. Her eyes flicked up, fragile, like she wanted to believe me, but wasn't sure she could. Before I could say more, a heavy thud rattled the door. We both froze. Then another, louder this time. Emily. Ryan's voice, muffled but sharp. Open the door. I just want to talk. Hannah's breath came in shallow gasps. He followed me. I snatched my phone, dialing 911 again with hands that barely worked. He's here. I hissed into the phone. The man I filed reports on. He's outside my apartment right now. Stay on the line. Officers are being dispatched, the operator said. Ryan's pounding grew harder, faster. You think you can hide her from me? You think this is over? She's mine, Emily. She chose me. Hannah whimpered, curling against the wall, her duffel bag clutched to her chest. My blood boiled. For the first time in weeks, the fear cracked, and anger surged through me instead. I shouted through the door. She doesn't belong to you. Get away from my apartment. His voice snapped back, cold and venomous. If I can't have her, no one will. The sound of those words was worse than the pounding. They landed in the pit of my stomach like lead. Then, sirens in the distance. Red and blue lights flickered against the blinds. The pounding stopped. Silence. By the time the police reached the door, Ryan was gone again. They took statements from both of us this time. Hannah's voice trembled as she described the broken phone, the stolen keys, the control. I watched her, relief mixing with heartbreak. Finally, she was saying it out loud. An officer glanced at me as he wrote notes. With her statement and your prior reports, This is enough to escalate. We'll open an investigation. A restraining order is an option too. When they left, Hannah slumped against the couch, drained. Emily, what if he comes back? I sat beside her, squeezing her hand. Then he'll find out he doesn't get to win this time. Her phone buzzed again on the counter. We both jumped. The screen lit up with a new message from Ryan. Police won't protect you forever. You'll see. The message glared up at us from Hannah's shattered phone. Police won't protect you forever. You'll see. Hannah's hands shook so hard she nearly dropped it. He won't stop, she whispered. Even if they arrest him, he'll find a way back. I swallowed hard, forcing my own fear down. Then we make sure he doesn't get the chance. That night neither of us slept. Hannah curled up on my couch, her duffel bag at her feet, her eyes darting to the door at every creak of the building. I sat in the armchair, laptop open, scrolling through the folder of evidence. Every screenshot, every voicemail, every fake message he tried to pin on me. I organized it all into a timeline. When I looked at it laid out like that, it was undeniable. Ryan was waging a campaign of manipulation and intimidation. By morning, Hannah's face was pale but set. I'll file the restraining order, she said softly, her voice raw from crying. But will you come with me? Of course. At the courthouse, Hannah's hands trembled as she signed the paperwork. She described everything: his control, his anger, the threats. The clerk nodded solemnly, stamping forms, and explained the next steps. Hearing it spoken out loud, on paper, in front of strangers, it made it real in a way it hadn't been before. That afternoon, a detective called me. He'd reviewed my prior reports and Hannah's new statement. With what you've provided, we'll be moving forward with charges for harassment and intimidation, he said. If he contacts you again, keep everything. Don't respond. We'll take it from here. For the first time in weeks, I felt like we weren't completely alone. But Ryan wasn't done yet. That evening, as Hannah dozed on my couch, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. A voicemail this time. His voice. You think this paper will stop me? You think hiding behind cops makes you strong? You're pathetic, Emily. And Hannah. His voice sharpened, venomous. You'll come back. You always do. Because no one else will ever love you like I do. I saved it. Sent it straight to the detective. 2 days later, Ryan was arrested. Harassment. Stalking. Violation of a protective order. The charges weren't the kind that put someone away for years, but it was enough to break the spell. I was there when Hannah got the call confirming it. She sat on my couch, clutching her phone, tears streaming silently down her face. Relief, fear, grief, all tangled together. He's really gone, she whispered. For now, I said honestly. But this time, it's not just your word against his. It's documented. People believe you. She broke then, sobbing into my shoulder, and I held her like I had years ago in college after her first heartbreak. Only this time, it wasn't about a boy who didn't text back. It was about a man who almost swallowed her whole. The weeks that followed weren't easy. Hannah cut herself off from social media. She moved in with her sister across town. We went to therapy together, her to untangle the trauma, me to process the guilt and fear. Our friendship isn't what it was before all this. Maybe it never will be. There's too much scar tissue now. But she knows I never betrayed her, and I know she's finally safe. That's enough. Sometimes I still wake up at night, heart pounding, convinced I hear pounding on my door. Sometimes Hannah flinches when her phone buzzes, even though Ryan's number is blocked. But every time we talk, every time she smiles again, I remind myself, we survived him. And that has to be the ending.